sometimes, unfortunately, even people under 18 years of age. We will hold whoever did this accountable. We need your help first. Thank you to Jevario's family, his mom and his grandmother who are here today, for being his voice, and to the Tampa Police Department for their dedication to this investigation. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have notes. I don't need notes. Excuse me. I stand before you here as a father of three, and this murder, homicide, happened exactly two miles away from a school that bears my name on it. There are students and staff that have not only know Jevario and his family personally, but also staff that have worked with Jevario personally. I don't have any way of replacing what was lost, not only for Jevario's family, but also for his friends, those that taught him. He was a kid. I don't want this to focus on anything other than the fact that a 14-year-old kid was murdered at 3:30 in the afternoon. To Jasmine Baldwin, his mother and his grandmother and the rest of his family, as I told her in the back, like, I can't replace what was lost, and there's no amount of money that can ever change. But to those that have also partnered with Crimestoppers, along with myself, to help raise this reward up to $20,000, I thank you as well. Somebody out there knows something, or maybe several people out there know something. And I really want those that don't know much of anything to try to help us in seeking some type of resolution for justice. We do have a state attorney that's ready and willing to prosecute at the highest level. We do have law enforcement officers that are ready and willing to search every ounce of evidence and make sure that we can make this as swift as possible when it comes to bringing up the appropriate charges to those that are involved. But what we need now is the community, those that are in the community that know anything, that has anything that can bring this to some type of resolve and a conclusion. The only conclusion that at this point is justice. We cannot conclude that we can do anything outside of do that for this family. To our state attorney's office, led by Susan Lopez. She's a very dedicated person to making sure that the right things are done to those and put those behind bars that deserve to be behind bars for the longest period of time. There is no in and out. And this, by far, is a tragedy not only for the community, but also, too, for the many that work with students, young athletes, young students across this community. The last thing that any teacher or coach or mentor ever wants to even utter the words of is hear that one of the kids that they have had an impact on is no longer here. To our Tampa Police Department, led by Lee Burkaw, and the rest of the officers that are devoted to this case, and many others like it. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your commitment to safety. And it's not, when I call 911, I'm not calling to ask for a white officer or a black officer or a Hispanic officer. I'm calling to get help. And safety is not a political issue. Justice is not a political issue either. And I hope that those that are involved, whether it's through the families or in the community, don't make this a political issue. It's not. It's an issue of a lost life of a 14-year-old young man who had a future ahead of him, and he had people that were invested in him outside of his family, inside of his family, and we will not ever know what his potential would have led him to. And don't politicize this. Don't make this about anything else except for justice and helping those. If you're going to march along, march to some answers. You know, don't just be out there doing stuff just to be doing stuff. We need answers, and we need resolve, and we need justice, and that's the reason why I'm involved. That's the reason why I'm using my voice and hopefully amplifying this message and the importance of and holding everyone behind me accountable to make sure that if you ask me to come up and help, then we all are working collectively to get the best outcome possible. And the best outcome possible, in my opinion, is to make sure that those that are involved with this situation, they're punished to the highest degree. And with that, thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it back over to whoever's next. I guess it's Chief. Come on, Chief.
Thanks. In closing, we need our community to step forward. We know someone out there knows something. Anyone can come forward. You can even be anonymous. We've solved cases with the community's help, and we know that we can do it in this case. Any questions?
Chief, can you add a little bit of context to that, the video that you showed?
Sure.
Was that how close in relation to where this happened was that video?
It's in close proximity, and it was about 10 minutes prior. And again, we would, if you want to play it again, we can. So it's about 10 minutes before the shooting. We can see Jevario on the far left. The two people that we're trying to identify are the two on the right, one in the middle and one on the right. Correct. Yes.
She leaving his house that day with a known friend. That was initially one of the first reports we had. Is that we were told that? And is that person that video?
So to best answer that question, I have Major Messmer, who is overseeing that. He is our critical investigative division commander, so I'll bring him up.
So, Major Patrick Messmer, I'm the commander of the Criminal Investigations Division. So the question was about specifically who Jevario was with, when he left home. Just to kind of reiterate, our detectives have conducted quite a bit of investigation. This is not the only piece of video we've gathered. We've collected forensic evidence. We've spoken with individuals who are close to Jevario. So we do have an idea of, kind of what Jevario was doing that day. But I want to say the main thing here, the reason that we're here is because there are people who are close to Jevario. There are people who are known to Jevario who know exactly what happened. And we need those individuals to have the courage and the strength to come forward. And if they weren't motivated by doing the right thing initially, if they weren't motivated by giving closure to Jevario's family, hopefully now they'll be motivated by this increased reward. But the bottom line is there are people who are close to Jevario who know exactly what happened, who know who did this, and we need those individuals to cooperate with us. Again, we would not be putting videos out and asking for attempts to identify persons of interest if we specifically knew who murdered Jevario Buie. So that's the reason we are putting this video out, to identify these individuals, and so these individuals can speak to us and provide us a statement and tell us what they know about Jevario's murder. So the question was about a comment from others that there might have been as many as a dozen individuals involved in this offense. In all of the evidence that we've gathered so far, we have not uncovered anything that would suggest at the time he was murdered that there were more than one or two people involved in this. We have not uncovered evidence that there were a group of people involved in the murder.
All right. Thank you.